Hello, my name is Zachary, and welcome to the next series of the state of Warframe. In this case, previously we did Smite, now we are on to Warframe. This video is going to be somewhat difficult to pull off due to the amount of potential material we could go over and cover. It is my goal to not only stay as organized as possible, but keep the video entertaining by showing first-hand experience and gameplay rather than pure commentary. I want to state a couple things. So it was relayed to me that Warframe is at 100 frames, where Discord is at 30 frames. So we might experience some latency and what would you call it? Just lag spikes and just kind of like frame drops. So sorry in advance, but I also want to state that I have notes in front of me on my phone, as well as notes provided to me by Zach, aka Hunter52302 here. These notes are going to be utilized to help me. It's going to guide me, and it's going to help keep this journey controlled to some extent. I wanted to have this as unrehearsed and unscripted as much as I could. So let's get started. The state of Warframe. Now, this is by no means an easy task. How does one simply state and investigate the state of a game like Warframe? I'm going to start with my overall experience, and we'll go from there. And I will refer to the awesome notes that have been given to me for some standard information. So I started my Warframe journey in 2016 when I was living in Colorado. And I installed it was a free game on PS4, and I played it right out of the house. Things I loved was the third person play. I loved how fast and sporadic the game was. I loved how things looked. I loved how weapon related stuff wasn't super restrictive, and I loved the amount of combinations there was. However, my console journey with Warframe was very short lived, and with my short experience, I probably have easily less than 100 hours on my console memory. I was confused. There was a point in the story where I played up until when you defeat like the main antagonist, and then up to the first point where you face off against the first frame and open up the next part of the map. I've done that about twice, and a lot of the cosmetic, a lot of the weapons, and a lot of the frames that I wanted were hidden behind doors that I did not understand and items that I didn't know where to obtain them, and there was sometimes a lack of direction. At the time, I felt like I needed to be spoon-fed a little bit. Obviously, I've grown and I've had to endure games such as Elden Ring, where spoon-feeding is no longer a thing, and I want to give this game a second chance. And with me to help, I have two gentlemen from my Discord, and they have been avid members of the Warframe community here. Say hi to Zach, aka Hunter52302, and John, aka Rocks and Thunder. Say hi, gentlemen.
Hello. I was about to ask him, am I supposed to say hi back or whatever?
So let's start off with Zach. When did you start playing, and how long have you been playing?
So I started playing in 2013 or 2014, whenever the PlayStation 4 came out.
Okay.
That is when Warframe originally released on console, and I've been playing since then.
How many hours would you say you have clocked in?
On console, close to 2,000, and on my PC, I have over 1,000 already. So in total, between console and PC, a little over 3,000 hours on Warframe.
Okay, John.
Oh God. So I would say, fuck, because Steam doesn't tell me. But I would say I've been playing since about December 2020. Correct me if I'm wrong, Zach. So I haven't been playing as quite as long, but I've got maybe over 500 hours at least. I have no life. That's what this is telling me
I
right
just
now.
admitted to having over 3,000 hours on this
Yeah.
game.
Well, I have no true understand. You're a bitch. Well, they changed the graphic that annoys me. What was I saying? Fuck. Oh yes, how long have I been playing? But yeah, so I've been playing for about 500 hours since
Okay.
yeah.
And that's purely PC play for you, correct, John?
Purely PC, yes.
Purely PC. So, it's cool that I have these two actually. So Zach specifically was one of the individuals that presented this game to me back in 2016 when I was playing on console, and then it carried over into PC. So our members that play Warframe, there are about 4 to 5 members two that consistently play, and 3 others, and I'm not including myself in that are on and off with this game. I chose these two based on their consistency and knowledge within the game. So when it comes to games like this, it's hard to not compare and contrast. So I will say what kind of took me away from this game was probably its most. I don't want to say probably its biggest competitor, but Destiny, another looter shooter. But I will say I do miss the third person sprackness of this. So let's go to handy dandy notes that have been provided to me by. Oops, wrong screen. That were provided me by Zach, and let's give a little bit of overview of this game. Some stuff that I didn't know. It's awesome that he took the time to go over this. Let's take a look at his handiwork here. He did all of this for the sake of this, and I appreciate him nonetheless. And some of this information I'm going to share is actually good enough. I'm going to provide links within the YouTube video, because when you're in something like this and you don't know, if you don't have somebody to tell you, Google searching isn't always your best friend. So what is Warframe classified as? Warframe is a free-to-play action role-playing third-person shooter multiplayer online game. History of Warframe. So the original concept came from 2000. It was originally named Dark Sector before it was later renamed. So does that mean it was a game called Dark Sector?
Yes. So the reason I put it into what it was actually classified as, even though we always call it a looter shooter, it's not classified as one, which is weird. I don't know if looter shooter is actually a community name or like an actual name developers tag onto their games. In its original conception of 2005, I think was the E3 demo.
Okay.
We were shown a lot of the same stuff, like similar concepts that we see in Warframe. So the name Dark Sector actually used to be a big part of Warframe. It's where you could actually do PvPs in the early years of Warframe. So that's where that name came from. The name of the protagonist in Dark Sector was actually called, I think, Hatham Tenno as his last name, and Tenno comes from part of the lore of the Zeramin ship.
Okay.
And so they took a lot of their concept stuff, even the simplest of like the ship's concept, and they put it into Warframe, and it's what it's turned into over the course of, almost 2 decades now, over 2 decades now, and it's kind of just really cool to see the reused work. As Digital Extremes, that's the publisher.
Okay.
This was originally the creation of, I believe his name is Steve. And I can't remember his last name, but
right.
Warframe is Dark Sector, and Warframe is his baby. But because they're a very small Canadian developer, there's the word,
yep.
is reusing work is not new. So it's nothing to bat an eyelash at or like name call for or anything. It's his work still. It's still reused and it's usable, and it's turned into this 9-year-old game. Like
yep.
Warframe's 9 years old this past year. It's ludicrous.
Dark Sector. So Zach noted also in here that Dark Sector was released in 2009. Is actually still available on Steam for $10. So if
Yep.
average Warframe individuals, and videos like these are for average and new players, and if that's something that you're interested in, to want to see what the, I guess, predecessor was to Warframe, check it
I would
out.
say a lot of lost lore, maybe. Like,
Okay.
I don't think a lot of it maintains to what's actually Warframe today.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're curious about like lost lore behind the scenes or stuff, I mean, for $10, I would recommend it. I've never played it, but it looks like a combination between like Dead Space and Splinter Cell.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I love Splinter Cell. So, luckily for me, I have these two individuals, vast amounts of knowledge that are able to kind of help me with something like this. You may not have what I have. So, who do you go to? So, it's been provided to me some of the bigwigs when it comes to Warframe, and I'm actually going to take the time when I post this video to find links to each and every one of these YouTubers, so you can find the pioneers, or like the forefront of people that share information about this game, because I'm here to give new players and average players the current state of the game and learn something new and receive hopefully new information and change my mind about like what I think of the game, whereas you guys need more information than what I can give you. So, some YouTubers that was written down here, I apologize if I mispronounce some of these, but Mogamu, Grind, Hard Squad, Nightmare Frame, Tactical Potato, and A Gay Guy Plays. And I actually did see this video before, but Markiplier did Warframe before. I saw that video. That was a fun video. And Game Theorists, I've actually seen a couple of their videos as well. I will link them down in the description below. Primarily the not Markiplier and Game Theorist, but the ones that he stated above, so you can get informations from, like I said, the pioneers. So what's really cool, and what was I've also been giving information on the community, and another gripe about the game that I had was it seemed empty compared to some of the other games that I had played previously, such as WoW and Star Wars: The Old Republic. There was like these mass cities where you'd see all of these people, and when you have a ship and you're talking to an AI and you're going on the starter quest, and a lot of what you do is completing sections of a ship, and you don't know what you're able to interact with. You don't exactly know what you're doing. There's a lot of like information that's thrown at you. You don't know what is relevant, what isn't relevant, and I didn't even find a main city until my second playthrough when I did it on PC, and that was when I, for the first time, saw like other individuals other than myself and my friends playing online. So community does exist, and according to Zach's research, so the community across all platforms is currently sitting around 30 million, with an average of 500,000 daily players, which that blows my mind. I didn't know that the game is still as and this might sound and I assure you, I'm trying to not sound condescending or like surprised, just like, oh, Warframe has 500,000 players. I can't believe anybody plays this game. No. I'm actually blown away that it has the community that it does. Like, I had no idea. And he also Zach also stated it's a hard start, but there are always veteran players available to help and who would honestly love to. The hard part is finding those people. Zach, do you care to share, like, how do new and average players become a part of the, and John too, chime in if you have something as well, but how do I get a part of the community? How do I find these people outside of YouTube?
So do you want to go ahead?
I was just gonna say, so as of right now, I can really only speak for like what I've witnessed in person. When like, I'm trying to figure out how to describe it, but there's a public chat, and oh my gosh, Warframe is one of the most welcoming and friendly communities, and so literally all I did to get into a guild was, hey, me and a few friends. I put in the all chat. Hey, me and a few friends are looking to get into a guild. Is anybody open? And we found the one that we're currently in. They're a set of three separate guilds. But like yeah, come. Like we want new people, and if you're new, it's perfect. There are so many guilds like that out there. You can barely throw a stone without seeing it. And then even then, you meet a lot of people through. I'm trying to figure it, like through matches and stuff like that, through different missions. Ow, I'm at 5 health. That's
By any chance, are you guys willing to show me in game where one might go?
Yeah.
yeah, totally.
So
Um,
I wanted to like, and like I stated earlier, like there's gonna be a lot of commentary, but I want to use these two knowledge and actually show you firsthand where would you even go. So and they're currently
I can't
they're wrecking
currently
shit.
show you.
Right.
I'll show you in a little bit when we get out of this mission. I actually think we were about to fail this. I don't know how to fail this mission, but I'm pretty sure we were about to.
I thought we finished it.
I don't think that meter was supposed to be that high.
I
Anyway,
thought we were supposed to bring the meter up. Okay.
no, I thought it was bring the meter down
Oh,
because
okay.
because there was debuffs happening to us. We had like life drain and stuff happening to us every time the meter was going up.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
That's why I wanted to leave. I'm like we got other missions. Anyway, all right.
Long story short,
Actually,
they came out with new missions.
Actually, since this is a hub, we can talk about two different things real quick.
Oh yeah.
So
I'm currently on. Since Zach is speaking, let me switch. Go to Zach. Down. All right, take it away.
So you were talking about like empty hubs. Well, here's one of the newest actually, where you get to see a lot of the players, a lot of their different warframes, and I mean we have this noob right here somewhere in here. This guy, this original Excalibur, no color.
It's a baby.
So
it's a wee little baby, but I mean then you have this.
So what is this place? Is this...
So this place is the newest. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is it Zymon? Zerman. It's the new. Yeah, you're right. It's the new Zerman ship that's poked out of the void, and that's very lore heavy stuff. So we're not going to get too deep into that. But it's just this new hub where you're able to go and do these special missions that have been applied to it. And you're able to do them from your original navigation, but after the mission, this is the hub it brings you back to. And there are
one of 4.
Yeah, this is one of 4 hubs like this.
Okay.
And I can take you around those real quick too later. But it leads into this more open world aspect. This hub doesn't. It only has those 5 missions applied to it because it is a ship, not a world. So it's one of those complex things where you're just looking at it. But I mean, it is new. It is grandeur and beautiful in its own sense. I mean, this ship is very, very lore relevant.
How soon is a player able to get to something like this?
I personally can't answer that because I master early 20. John is mastery 19.
What I would say, getting to at least the first one, the first hub being Cetus, I would say you get to that fairly early on because you start on Earth and that's where Cetus is located.
Okay.
So it's fairly early on. I think I started in Cetus at like level.
You get there
5,
like 2 or 3. It's
2 or 3?
super early.
Yeah, it's really early and it's very hard to miss, as Zach's about to show you. But I think he's about to show you.
I'm going to my inbox real quick.
You're going to your box. Okay. Never mind.
Then I'll show him the clan stuff.
Sure. But it's very early on, and as you progress through the story and through like the star chart, which is kind of the map of all the missions and all that stuff.
Yep.
Is where you unlock those different hubs.
Okay. Roger that. So this ship that you see on Zach's screen here, for new players, this is what I know most about. And I'm with you on the aspect of like my knowledge beyond the ship is very small, and I think this was one of the contributing factors to me not sticking around the game too much until I replayed it on PC and I found just that one city because of a quest. So, um, you guys mentioned trying to find members and stuff like that,
Yeah.
or to find people, find help, find people to play with, just anything, and that
So
is okay. Go ahead.
no, I'm sorry for interrupting. That's
Okay.
what I'm going to go over real quick. Is so we'll go over the in-game one first because it's just the most simplistic. Is
Okay.
you have different tabs in your menu. For me, it's left bumper because I use a controller when I play. I
Okay.
spent like 5 years.
Or T.
I spent 5 years on controller. I'm not going to come off of it. So normally when you're in a group, your first chat channel is just going to be your group.
Okay.
And then you have your clan group chat. Then you have an alliance group chat.
Uh-huh.
Then it gets into the rest of the community. So here, this tab is for questions. Just any questions that you have about the community.
Got
Just
kicked
like
out of the clan.
what
I was not active long enough.
talking about social here, and clans have their rules. If you break them, if you're inactive for 30 days or whatever, they're gonna kick you.
Is it 30 days? I thought it was 2 months.
I don't know. Anyway, now the channel you're asking for, Heinz, is this last one before the trade chat. It's got this search.
Oh, okay. I
icon.
see the tabs. So the recruiting tab. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. So you have these tabs up here.
Yep.
This one's just Q&A. This one's recruiting, and this one's trading.
Okay.
Trading is ridiculous. Not even gonna go into it. Just players trading other things from other people.
Okay.
No, just trading. Recruitment tab is where you want to go because here people can taxi you almost anywhere, and taxiing is when a lower level player is taxied to part of the map that they don't have access to.
Okay.
To either get resources or fight a boss that they need to. But you can go through and unlock the entire map yourself too. There are a lot of solo players who do. But this recruitment chat is where everyone on PC in your region, on your server, is going to be talking and looking for stuff. So here we can see that this person's looking for Cora farm,
Okay.
1 of 4. So Cora is a Warframe that they're trying to farm for. Someone in this chat, either also looking for Cora farms or who's wanting to help, is just going to simply message this player, talk, or invite.
Nice. Okay.
I just DM'd him.
And
God damn it.
And so, these are just endless amounts of people either looking for help or wanting to help.
Okay.
They also do recruitment for clans in here, and the quick rundowns of clans is that I'm in this clan.
Mhm.
I can go to my clan's dojo, and there's specific things in the dojo that you can only get in a dojo, like a trading center. That trading chat we were just talking about. You
Okay.
have to go to a dojo to trade.
Okay.
Baris, but
Yeah, that's an entirely different external thing. There's also a lot of weapon crafting components that you need to get in dojos, and there are some warframes in dojos, not a lot.
Copy.
And by warframes in dojos, I do mean that their crafting components are in there. And this is just basically the extent of clans. Like when you join a clan, you become a part of alliance. It's a closer knit group per se because you all have something in common. But I know none of these people. When I was on PlayStation, I had a clan with my friends that I had on there.
Copy.
Can
you because I'm a bad YouTuber, can you back out of this and show the tabs and the
Oh, was your face over it?
It was just
right.
you talked about it, and I just wanted you to show.
Okay. So these first two, you have your clan chat, then you have your alliance chat, you have your Q&A, and then you go recruiting and trade.
Cool.
Anything past this is personal messages.
Yep. So my bad, YouTube. My bad. I'll pay attention. So we gone over so the world is already starting to seem a little bit bigger than what I knew, and take into consideration a lot of the questions that I had because like you guys know me when I played Monster Hunter. I did a lot of like solo grinding, and I just kind of figured things out on my own just by doing it. And it was Monster Hunter seemed a little bit more streamlined to an extent. And I'm not saying streamline as in like they did it better in Warframe. It just seemed easier. I guess I guess you could say, and I don't want to say say Monster Hunter people. I'm not saying Monster Hunter spoon feeds you by any means. It was easier for me to understand, but now I'm starting to gather that the game is starting to feel a lot bigger than what I first anticipated, and now. Like now, I know I can log in and I know how to find answers, because before, and I'm sure you guys might have run into this too with other games, to where like I'll go to Google and I have a question, and what's typically the first thing when you're trying to like find niche information? It's gonna be fucking Reddit, and Reddit is sometimes not the most reliable, unfortunately.
One of the other things that sorry.
No, you're good.
That I also really like is they have their own wiki.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they now have their own wiki, and then also one of the things that I really enjoyed was they, because I didn't experience about the same time you did, because I came much later than like Zach came to it, and I'm guessing when you came to it, Heinz, it was very new member friendly when I joined it. Like yes, it was a little, some things were a little confusing, but spend 10 minutes on the wiki and you understand a lot more. Like if you head over to my screen,
I got you and go ahead.
Okay, so in your arsenal itself, so you go through and you upgrade your warframes through these mods.
Yep.
This was probably the most confusing part for me.
It's still confusing as hell to me, but we don't need to explain it right now. But yeah.
Right. What I'm saying, I'm just using this as an example.
Yep.
They added. I don't know how long they've had this.
Holy crap! There's a tutorial button. What the hell?
It goes through on like what everything means, how to do it. Here.
Answering your question on how long they've had that, about 9 years.
About 9 years. Okay.
I missed it. Full-fledged. I missed it.
I'm very sure.
There's a tutorial button. But then also, as for like, I don't know if you're gonna have this if this is one of the links Zach sent you, but as for like builds and stuff like that, Overframe is one of the greatest places I've found.
I'm going to note in the thing that Zach, because I will provide as many links as I can into the description, and we'll describe what they are. So first one you mentioned was the Warframe wiki, as well as what was the second one you said for build?
For this one, it's Overframe.
Overframe. Okay.
Yep. They have, I love it because they have weapon and Warframe tier lists.
Okay.
Because some frames do fall out of the meta. That is a thing in Warframe.
Yes, you can kill bots better with this frame.
Yes.
Congratulations.
So, all right.
And then it also has the build that you can copy and stuff like that.
Okay.
Which is really cool.
So, I guess next what we can.
I'm sorry. Before we go to a different rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Is quickly going back to clans and people who need help. Is even though that's all just the internal stuff, I'd also just quickly link in like Facebook groups. There's always people posting on Facebook. You can find your specific platform and find those people. Otherwise, you can get help from just anyone.
Any particular groups you'd like to share?
I'm a part of PC Warframe group.
PC Warframe.
Like it just simplistic things. Just be like on Facebook, I need a Warframe group, and you'll find one. Always looking for people on there.
Okay.
I personally am careful around those. The only reason being is I'm part of a Warframe meme group, and you don't really look over there for help. Is the thing like
that's like, guys, I have heart disease. I'm gonna go to Reddit's meme chat for help.
Right. Like so what happens is, so like somebody will ask for help and it will be like this is not a meme, but here's your answer.
Um,
kind of
the
thing.
the other place I would go to is Discord groups. I'm not a part of
Oh
any
yeah.
specific ones, but you can literally just search the term in Warframe in Discord and find people who would love to help you.
Like I'm part of the Warframe like official Discord, and I'm also part of the clan that I'm no longer a part of. their their Discord, which again it's very they specifically are very friend welcoming. Like you can find a lot of Discords of just clans, and you can probably get a clan invite from that Discord, and it's great.
Okay. All right.
And now we can move on to your
Yeah,
next rabbit
and
hole.
and
I'm
the
sorry.
the so far, because like we've given a little bit of history, and that is of the game and like my experience itself, and we are nitpicking current aspects of like the experience I went through. First one being the community, which we have now gotten so much information for things that I didn't even know. Just the text chat alone, because like I'm super familiar with
All
that
you
sort of
had to
stuff.
do
With
was
like,
ask.
right, I know, but you got to think it's WoW brain, because like with WoW, I was like so familiar with like oh, I'm trying to run Karazhan. LFG Karazhan need one DPS, one healer, one tank, and like stuff like that, and like
Yeah,
it's
you're gonna get something similar with Warframe. Like I said, looking for LF, Cora, looking for survival.
yep.
It's very similar. You're just you have
Need to
different
know
syn.
what you're looking
Yeah,
for.
you
Yeah.
have just like in programming, John will understand is like you have different syntax for your different programs.
Yep.
So even though they may mean the same thing for a different program, you're not gonna get anyone who understands WoW unless they've played WoW before, and I have not. So
Right. So next little nitpick of my journey I would like to go over is so when I first started, and if you would be so kind as to please, I'm on Zach's screen at the moment.
Mhm.
Please choose one of these starter frames that I started with Excalibur, but if you don't have Excalibur, then it's
No,
whatever.
yeah, I do. One
No,
second.
I have the next one that you get, but
Um,
Uh, he'll go over Rhino in a second. I'll
I
go
was
over
talking about Umbra,
Excalibur.
but
Oh,
and
don't
you'll see where I'm going with this.
I
So
don't even have Excalibur anymore. I just have it. We'll just go with this.
so
Just pretend this is the
and
original because it pretty much is.
when I started the game, I remember pretty much like how they laid it out for you. They show you ability by ability by ability, and then you pick up your weapons along the way, and then you are then given quests. And that the speed, the tempo of it, I remember it being so addicting. Like I stated before, I loved the third person combat. I liked how fast it was. I love sprinting and jumping excessively. That was oh
All
man,
the hardcore parkour.
I loved that. Now, if you could go to the wonderful screen of all the stuff I couldn't get because I didn't know. This is another thing that
Shut up.
when it comes to the gameplay, because I don't want to hit end game just yet. I want to kind of like trail up to that.
Mhm.
So the first roadblock that I hit is one. I didn't really care for Excalibur that much, and I saw all these awesome looking frames that you see on the screen here. I didn't know what the little symbols meant, and like then I was just like, what other weapons can I get? And it's the same thing, and it seemed like I was restricted to it was just like in Monster Hunter. Well, okay, so the thing is with Monster Hunter, they didn't show you any of that stuff until you defeated the monster, and just like if you continue to defeat this monster, this is what you can get. Warframe, on the other hand, they show you all the beautiful things you can get with not necessarily an explanation, and that was one of the big turnoffs.
Mhm.
So help me. I don't know where to. It's not necessarily a question. It's more that was my experience. Veterans, take it away.
The John's not even a veteran for this area for starting Warframe, and he is in terms of where you're at, Heinz. But when I started Warframe, we had the choice of three Warframes.
Yep.
In my They changed it, but when I first started, we had the choice of Loki, Excalibur, or Meg. I personally chose Loki. He's a stealth Warframe, very fun, very trickstery playstyle. Excalibur's the balanced of all the scales. He's the most basic you're gonna get. And then you had Mag, who magnetizes things, plays around bullets and armor and some other stuff.
Okay.
They changed Loki to Volt later on, but when I started, we didn't have that starting point where we picked up or chose our weapons. We were just given stuff and told how to parkour, basically. Like we learned how our abilities worked and we learned how to parkour, and that was about the most basic thing we did. We played through about this a similar starting point where we talked with and fought with Captain Vor,
Yep, I remember that.
Mr. Uglyface Grenier.
Yep.
We had a similar starting point, but we forked in a road when it came to weapons and abilities. It was a big, huge learning curve when it came into just starting Warframe. Because and even for how much more you need to maybe be handheld or spoon-fed within the game itself, they've done a really good job about adding those aspects in for newer players.
Mm-hmm.
And I've replayed through once, so I barely know how to restart this game. But John and you have gone through the newer starts, the newer tutorials. Yep. So that's where I stopped being a veteran, because I've only played through that once.
Okay. John?
As for answering your question, so I guess can you re-ask your question?
And the thing is, it wasn't necessarily a question. It was
right.
It was a section of gripe where you see all the beautiful stuff that that Zach is rotating through, and that was the it's more like, and this isn't a warning to the new and/or average players that are coming back. And I don't want you to have the same gripes as I have, because now you've been given answers on where to ask and where to go on how to obtain this stuff. But I guess one asks, how do you because it's how do you get to those points? Do you just, is it one of those things where you kind of have to suck it up on that start of Warframe for a long time? Is there something that you can easily do to get some of this other cosmetic stuff? What is the step? Because somebody that's coming into this, it's like they pick Excalibur frame. Oh shit, I don't really like this. I see all this really cool stuff. What is my quickest path to here? What is this materials? Is there stuff that I could skip, or it just that's it? It's not really one direct question. It's a very much just as a new average player, what the hell do I do? I'm not happy with my current state of the game, and I see all this awesome shit. Help.
So, for one, it other than gameplay, I say this loosely, nothing in Warframe is quick.
Sean, we're not in the party.
Oh, we're not, are we? Well, we skip that and abort this mission real quick. So, but nothing in Warframe is quick. The reason I say that is so I'm gonna be playing one of my next favorite Warframes, called Sevagoth. It took me 8 hours to grind this guy out to get him. So what that means is everything's RNG based. And let me take you over to the Foundry real quick.
Okay.
When in building Warframes, I have these two up top.
Yep.
And you have the chassis, you have the neuroptics, and then there's a systems for each Warframe, and then you have the actual blueprint for itself. So depending on the Warframe, you have to grind each one of these parts out.
So let me try and relate it to something else, so I'm understanding, because this always confused me. Is it, and you've played Monster Hunter, so you might be able to paste it for me. Is it like you had to get pieces for the head, the chest, the legs, the arms? Is it the same thing?
It's similar in that, but yeah, you grind this monster or boss out until this thing drops. But it's a specific it's completely RNG on whether or not it drops.
Okay.
So like these two up top here came from the same boss, but it was completely RNG on which one I was gonna get.
Copy.
Does that make sense?
Is there an amount of times I can ram that?
Yeah, so on the Wikipedia page that
Yep.
you were linking and talking about earlier,
Mm-hmm.
is that there's going to be a drop table on there. And depending on which game mode you're playing, like survival, which is one of my favorite modes because I'm a endurance player,
Mm-hmm.
survival goes through 3 different rotations, technically 4. It's rotation A, rotation B, rotation C, basically a reset at that point. Think it goes A, B, C, C, reset. And that's every 5 minutes. So 20 minutes, you can go through a full reset of stuff. And on those drop tables that you can see, you'll get a percentage of the items that you're looking for.
Okay.
And it's like, I'm playing Protea right now. So I'm looking for Protea's helmet.
Okay.
Drops rotation B, so that's 10 minutes. And I have a 10% chance to get it from that table. If not, I wait till the next rotation B, or I extract, which is leaving the mission successfully, unlike John just did with his mission where he failed.
Fuck off.
So,
But yes, you can run it a lot of times to both collect materials, but you also have to run it a lot of times sometimes to get the thing you're looking for.
so let me make sure I'm understanding. So to complete a frame, there is a total of, I was counting as you did it, John, but is there 6 separate pieces? It's, you have a head, you have a body, you have, can you share on your screen?
It is.
Yeah. So
So is it 6?
No.
It's 4.
4.
There.
So
So there's 2 exceptions, I think.
Okay.
So
yes.
So there's 2 exceptions, and I think those exceptions are Chroma, which is a dragon warframe, really
Okay.
cool, and then Equinox is a duality warframe based off of Yin and Yang. Equinox is 2 separate warframes combined, so you need 2 helmets, 2 chassis, 2 blueprints, and 2, what am I forgetting?
Systems.
And 2 systems.
Okay.
Then you create those 2 warframes and shove them together. All together, Equinox needs like 7 parts. You have the main blueprint, the 2 blueprints, maybe 8 parts. I can't math right now.
Let's say just your ordinary normal scenario.
Yes.
4.
Ordinary normal scenario, 4. You need your regular blueprint.
Yep.
You need your helmet, your chassis, and your systems. And then each part takes 24 hours. Each warframe takes 72. So 3 days. 1 full day for each part. I usually save all the time and build all my parts at the same time because I just get satisfaction from collecting all 3 pieces at the same time. Other people build them one at a time, and then you build your warframe and you come back 3 days later and your frame is done, and then you go level it and play with it.
I remember that being a little bit of a turnoff for me specifically as well. The time gap. So I'm understanding 4 separate parts, and it will take around 3 days time to build your an ordinary warframe. So to go back to the question before, for the new and average players that chose, and I'm going to keep using, they start with the Excalibur frame, and they're not really digging the game, and to pretty much the unfortunate answer seems to be they will have to suck it up for a while. Am I
so
correct?
It's kind of this back and forth where, yes, the mindset kind of is suck it up. The issue there is that, 1, there's actually a lot of gift programs already for like Warframe. You could spend $5 on the game and get like the beginner pack.
Okay.
And while I'm not like saying spend money on the free to play game,
right?
Warframe's free to play. It's lasted 9 years. It's doing well. But $5 to get your next character, and on average, money dollar for dollar, each Warframe, each new one that comes out is about $20. So you either can kind of go farm for it or not. And the thing is with those huge communities we talked about earlier,
Yep.
is that the farming's not that atrocious when you have help from people who want to help.
Okay.
It's like, so if you're looking at my screen,
I can switch.
well, John's doing nothing interesting.
I was looking at the shop because just the initiate pack is where you can get this, and it's like $5.
Yeah.
Copy.
So here, you're starting on Earth, and and Vor drops the blueprints for a gun, not a new Warframe.
Yep.
But your literally next planet over here on Venus, your boss over here drops the parts for one of the best beginner Warframes and endgame Warframes.
Oh yeah.
Who is Rhino.
Okay.
He is a tank, and he plays. He's just ridiculous. I don't like him. I'm a very big underdog Warframe player. Rhino was meta from beginning to end, all past 9 years. People have hundreds and hundreds of hours just on that frame.
Okay.
And he's the most beginner-friendly frame you can ask for because of how tanky he is. He's going to get you from beginning of the game to the end of the game. And if you have to wait 4 days to do that while making new friends on this fantastic game, I say that's a pretty good trade-off. Like,
Okay.
and
So-
so
With,
Yeah,
so
go
with to make sure that it's clear. So if you are average, brand new, or returning to this game, based on what they're saying, it is highly recommended that you take advantage of the community that this has to offer. If you are grinding solo, like I was attempting to, I think you may. I'm not gonna say yes, this will happen to you, because that is not always the case. Not everybody is the same, but there is a possibility that the potential time constraints, and if you don't necessarily like the friend that you had, or that you started out with, you may be deterred, like I was. But there is pretty much being pasted and relayed right now that get into the community that Warframe does have, and grind out what it is you're looking for, and it seems like that you will have a much more positive experience than I did. Am I correct?
it's the thing I would relate it to. Well, one, it's a new game. It's a free game, so it's not like you spent money on it. The
Right.
best you could do is give it some of your time. And what I would relate it to is like the anime rule is when you start a new anime, give it 3 episodes.
Be fair enough.
Do that with Warframe. Give it a planet or 2. The thing has like 20 planets and stuff to work on. So, put a little bit of time into it, just like you would anything else.
Yep.
And it will reward you with some fun, very fun times.
Okay. And so we've gone over so far, and right now, so I think this is going to be a good. We've gone over a lot of information, and I don't want to overload one video at a time, and it'll give me an opportunity to pretty much go over what I've already gone over, and I think because we've gone over pretty much my beginning experiences, and we've nitpicked at the lack of community that I realized was there. Sorry, I can't English right now, and I even did the exercises. We've got.
You had a veteran player to ask for help.
Yeah, right.
That offered help
So
for the game that he loves.
Based on the experience that I had, we nitpicked at the fact that I didn't know that the mass community existed, and that there is information out there, and I shouldn't have just gone straight to Google via Reddit. So, and we've also realized that when I was trying to grind solo, that maybe that attributes a lot to the bad experience that I had. That I did choose Excalibur both times that I played console and PC, and I was like just grinding out the story, and I found myself to be bored real quick, when in reality I should have been getting a part of the community and grinding out some of these other things to get the other frames. The only gripe that I have right now, based on the information that they have shared, is there is a little bit of a time constraint. You do grind the pieces, and this is, I'm speaking purely free. If you spend money, that's, I'm assuming that is a different process. I'm assuming you get it instantly, correct?
You can rush it.
Okay, you can rush it. So if you are
I've
purely
never done
a free player, and you do become
No,
a part of the
of course
community,
I have.
Really? Oh, I was gonna say.
you there will be, you get the pieces together, the 4 components of, you know, the ordinary frames, and then obviously 3 days before you can actually play. That is my only gripe, but that is what you're getting yourself into in the world of Warframe. With that being said, I will provide all links in the description below, and
I'll give you some more too.
Yep, and for part 2, we're going to dive a little bit deeper. We'll ask, what the hell was it that they're doing? We went over some of the beginning aspects of the game, and we're gonna get to, like, why grind all this? So we're gonna get into endgame aspects. What kind of, like, endgame stuff is there if we relate to other games? Is there raids? Is there dungeons? What kind of bosses? Etc. etc. That's what we're gonna be going over in the next episode. That is all I have today. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, appreciate you. Okay, bye!
Bye.